Beverly Buckley. Welcome to Suzie Sayz, all the way from Maui in Hawaii. Gosh, I don't know how many hours we are apart, but I've had to get out of bed for you as you're going to bed. How are you, my friend?
12 hours. It's exactly 12 hours. I'm doing yeah.
Oh my gosh. So we one of these yin and yang friendships.
Right.
You're in I was even looking at your flowers behind you with sunflowers, and I've got roses. It's like my two flowers, you know.
Yeah. I think my favorite flower is the stargazer lily. I discovered the stargazer lily. It is just such a beautiful flower. And I bought some the other day, but they're both dead. They're actually on that side. And they're both, well, they haven't died. They've just gone underground. And then the new little one will come out and what.
Called morphing.
Yes.
So thank you so much for joining me this morning, or tonight for you. Really, it's so bizarre how we just connect on technology. I mean, it is ridiculous, the other side of the world. So please, Bev, we don't know much about you. Whoever's watching this now is obviously being brought to this video. So welcome, whoever's watching this. I'm really chuffed. But this woman is a very special woman who's sitting in, used to be in South Africa, used to be in Johannesburg, but is now sitting on that beautiful island, volcanic island of Hawaii in Maui. What on earth took you there? How? What? Where? What is the story, and who are you, Beverly Buckley?
Okay, well, since 2012, I wanted to come to, I got the call. Okay, let's start from the very beginning. So I had my awakening in probably about 2006 was when I really started having, I'd always been awake, but I really started having an awakening of what's going on the planet kind of awakening. And so I think one of the things that was really a thing was I had a Kundalini awakening, like an actual Kundalini activation awakening, where
what is that, Bev? What is that? Because a lot of people don't know, and whoever's listening to this may not even have a clue. These are such big words at the moment. When we're sitting in 2020, June 2020, guys, we're in the middle of it all. And everyone is talking about this awakening. Everyone's talking about this Kundalini rising, and everything's just happening, energetically. And what is it?
It's not always as sexy as everyone thinks it is, truthfully.
No,
Kundalini.
Kundalini
rising, what that looks like in your world. It looks like everything's going wrong, and that everything is falling apart. That's what it looks like in your consciousness, to your conscious mind. But
3D world,
yeah. But I had it. See, for me, I first had a physical experience, and then the Kundalini stuff really started happening. So I was doing. So I found this. How do I start this? Okay. So I was working in the IT industry, which I did not like very much, but I was earning good money, and I knew what I wanted to do, but I didn't know how to get myself from here to there. So I just obviously took a job because you need to pay the bills, right? And as I was working there, I used to sit on Google and not really work, but just look for random stuff and then print all the stuff that interested me. And one of the things I was looking for, now this is back in the day before we had a couple of Google ads, but it wasn't like what it is now, right? And the algorithms were different and all that stuff. So I was searching for DNA activation. Don't ask me why I was looking specifically for DNA activation. I think I was 24 at the time. So I think I was probably 2006. And I came across a website called Azurite Press. Azurite Press, Azurite, like the stone, Azurite.
Stone, yeah.
Azurite Press. And I came across their website, and I was like, oh, and they had the stuff with DNA activation. I'm like, oh, cool. So totally arbitrary stuff, like nothing you've ever seen before, right? And I loved it. And what they were basically talking about was that we have got 15 chakras, of which 12 are physical. At that time, the whole world believed there was only 7. Well, not even the whole world. Most people didn't even know that the chakras existed. So, I mean, I knew about chakras because I was connecting to my guides from the age of 19. I have my guides, Tinkle, who's a child guide, which she helps me with a lot of inner child work when I'm working with people. And then I've got Sabrina, who's more of like, she works more with the elementals, so more in like a Wicca kind of ceremony sense. And then I have a few other guides, which I'm not going to go into in a moment, but those are like, I've got quite a nice lot of people that beings that I work with. So anyways, I found this website. I was like, oh, this is cool. I was like looking at it and I was like fascinated. It was basically the healing dynamic that I'm trained in is called Kathara healing and Keylontic science. So anyone can Google that now. I mean, it's all over the place now. And Kathara healing science stands for Sound Light 1, Kathara. So it's working with the sound tones of our physical universe, but you could say our physical time matrix universe. So we're in a time matrix, which consists of 15, you could say, densities. A lot of people call them dimensions, but they're really densities. And so we're in the 3rd density right now. And so when people say they're going to 5D or whatever, yeah, sort of, but not really. What they really mean is that we're going through the frequency fence. So dimension 4 is like a band. It's like a frequency, got a frequency fence before you jump through to the 4th dimension. And that's kind of like the way our aura is, because our aura has also got those levels or those dimensions or those densities expanding out. And so although we think this is our body, our aura actually can extend up to 10 feet around us. If not, even for those people who are more spiritually connected, it actually extends even further. So, and then there's cords and all sorts of other things that connect with different things all over the place. So essentially, I found out about that, and then I found out about the Kristalla, KYRST HLA, Kristalla, crystal. And what that means is Karayasatahala, which are the sound tones of our matrix. So this is not how I got to Hawaii. But anyway, I'm getting to that whole point. So essentially, the 12th Stargate, I'll get back to the Hawaii point. The 12th Stargate is on Hawaii, our 12th Stargate. So so people going to go to Stargate, what are you talking about? Just to kind of try and go fast through it, there's 12 Stargates, which are linked to the 12 Kathara centers, which are linked to the 12 chakras, which are linked to the 12 auric fields, which are linked to the 12 points in the galaxy, which are linked to the 12 points in the universe, which are linked to so they're all linked, right? And Earth is Stargate.
A big Lego picture.
Exactly. It's basically spheres within spheres within spheres within spheres within spheres, which creates the God worlds, right? And so there is a full-on structure to the whole universe, or the whole God world, if you want to call it that.
It's all connected, and
exactly.
Yeah. So if you ever thought you were alone, you've got another thing coming.
Exactly. Yeah. And the thing is, a lot of people think, oh, it's all connected, as in, oh, there's all these like they're in random places, but it's all connected. No, it is actually scientifically and proportionally perfectly spaced and connected. It's like it's all mathematically completely in alignment, right? And so there's a lot more than that on that, but essentially Kauai has got Stargate 12, and it's also linked to Lemuria, which is another part of my race, my DNA, and then also linked to Pleiades, which is another part of my DNA, and then Sirius B, which is another part of it. So like we're all a big mixture, conglomeration of many beings all outside, all over the galaxy or universe, or whatever you want to call it, the whole multiverse. And a lot of people think, oh, I'm just a human.
Oh.
The funniest thing ever. It makes me giggle because we're the divine human species. Like when I talk about divine human species, our DNA can literally shift. Like the thing with the whole artificial intelligence also sometimes makes me laugh because they want to put some sort of weird chip in our brains. It's going to somehow make us more intelligent. And it's like, dudes, we're literally going to morph. Like as the frequency expands and we elevate, the energy elevates, we're moving out of a Kali Yuga cycle. So Kali Yuga, we've been out of the Kali Yuga for about 300 years now. So Kali Yuga is basically the most densest cycle. If you think about that, we've got the what I call the seasons, right? We've got winter, spring, summer, autumn. Yeah, Kali Yuga is the winter, and then there's the next one is starts with a D. Oh, I can't remember it. But there's another one. Next Yuga is with a D, something with a D, some other Yuga. Then there's another one, and then the final one is the Satya Yuga. And now the next Yuga up from the Kali Yuga is double the length of the Kali Yuga. The next one is longer than the second one. The Satya Yuga is the longest one. So we actually have more of a high vibrational enlightened consciousness awareness as we are as a humanity, as a species, than we have the denser one. And it's all just about like Earth goes around the sun, which creates like our seasons, and the sun goes around a greater sun, which creates those seasons. So if we look at just from our 1,000 years or 2,000 years, or we think that life exists, we haven't even scratched the surface yet. And our technology is only getting to the point where it can start to actually discover and recognize things where we didn't have the technology before. So the technology advances, and we created technology to help. So people in humanity, there's certain people that are born or whatever, they get the psychic awareness or the physical manifestation of it. Like before the laser was created, we had people who were able to have laser focusing consciousness. So the consciousness happens with a few beings on the planet first. Then the technology gets created so that the rest of the consciousness can pick up, the rest of the beings with that consciousness can pick up the technology. So our technology is basically just, it's giving us like signs of land of where our consciousness as a collective is going. And so that's the beautiful thing about what's happening now on the planet, right? So Kauai is dimension, is Stargate 12, and I always dreamed of being able to live in Hawaii. However, South Africa is the furthest point. Johannesburg probably, I think Port Elizabeth is the furthest point from South Africa. Literally, it's the opposite side from Hawaii. It's the opposite side of the planet. And I didn't even know that, to be honest, at the time. I just knew that I wanted to be nearby Stargate 12. That's what I wanted. It just felt like good for me. It felt home. It felt like what I wanted. I didn't know how I was going to get there. And obviously had a whole lot of awakening things happen. Kundalini happened, 2009, lost everything. Then again in 2012, lost everything. Then again in 2013, no, 2013, no, 2012, 2014, I think it was, lost everything. Then another one in 2016, lost everything. So it's like been okay, kind of training wheels to go. You can't be attached to anything. Like this world it can literally morph and shift in an instant. So when the pandemic hit, I was like, oh, cool. We got another fun shift happening. This is exciting. And a lot of people who have been caught in their box, right, are like, oh my God, it's the end of the world. It's like, yeah, as we know it, but there's going to be a new one. It's going to be a whole new birth. So it's really exciting, right? And so what led me to come to Hawaii actually was with my partner at the time, we decided we wanted to go. He was on board. We were going to go to Hawaii together. That was the whole plan, right? And we were in the middle of doing our shamanic practitionership, which was like a 3-year process and then the final part of that process was going to Peru to have our initiation in the Andean shamanic tradition. So we were on that pathway. And so we decided, instead of just going for the initiation for a week or whatever, we decided we're going to stay there for 6 months and we were just going to just figure it out. And so we got our tickets and we flew, and we were in Peru for 6 months. I mean, there were so many amazing transformations. I can go into so much detail with that, but I'm not going to. And so went there, and then that was from the August to the January, beginning of January. I think the end of August, we ran out of money, as you do when you go with no money. So, right. So I ended up.
Yeah, that does no. Funny you should say that. That's.
So, and then in
Yeah,
Peru,
the universe has all sorts of plans. Just when you think that you're going along, it really is. It's a surprise journey, isn't it? It's a surprise every single day. I mean, even waking up this morning, sorry to interject, Bev. I mean, I woke up and I went, what have we got on the cards today? Knowing the things that I need to do, but every day, and I'm going, okay, universe, surprise. You know, it really is. Right now, no day, no minute is guaranteed.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, yeah. So, at that point, I was involved with some coaches. One of my mentors, her name is Rika Zimmerman. I was involved with some coaches, and they were. I was helping. I was interviewing them on my show called the Love Your Life Show, and I was interviewing them, and I asked them, well, would you like me to help you to create a product and create a funnel for you? And so they paid me, and I was able to create income online in the middle of Peru. And my mother said to me, God, Beverley, you made money in the middle of Peru without knowing anyone. I don't know how you do it. I was like, well,
when there's a will, there's a way. Hey.
I mean, and it was just like, and the thing is, I mean, I really wanted, and it's still part of what I'm creating at the moment, is to assist people who are in spirituality, in transformational work, to actually get their gifts out to the world and to create something that they can give value and actually have a channel to be able to give value so that people can receive these gifts, right? And it's happening more and more and more, which is really amazing. So obviously was there in Peru, and then met a really wonderful woman who I helped with her website and stuff as well. And she actually purchased because I told her that I wanted to go to Hawaii, and there was a 1-year coaching program with Rika Zimmerman that I really wanted to do. And but I mean, it was $15,000, so that's like yeah. And then there's obviously Hawaii always is known for being the most expensive place, one of the most expensive places in the world. And so the mind can easily create all these reasons why not. And you know, I'm not normal, so I don't understand a lot of those weird.
The new
reasons.
normal.
Yeah, I didn't really understand. Like, I'm not really good at no.
No.
No. So she actually bought my ticket for me from South Africa to Hawaii, because we were flying back to South Africa. So I was going to fly from South Africa to Hawaii, which meant I would be in South Africa for about 10 days and then would leave literally after we arrived 10 days later, go to Hawaii. At that time, the partner that I was with, he wasn't sure. He kind of felt like he wanted to stay in Peru, but we only had a 6-month visa. So he was going to come back to South Africa, and then he was going to decide if he wanted to go to Hawaii, if we wanted to go to Peru. And we were probably going to have to either part ways or figure it out. And long story short, he said no, he did want to come to Hawaii. So he's like, okay, cool. So had my ticket, and then was able to put down the deposit with other money that I'd gotten for the beginning of the program. And I didn't know how I was going to stay in Hawaii. I didn't know how I was going to pay for it. I didn't know any of that stuff. Anyways, long story short, ended up getting to the airport. Okay, so flew back to South Africa. Fantastic. Now I've got my ticket. I'm on my way to the airport. We get to the airport, standing in the the ticket place for them to take my bags, and I'm all excited. And the guy looks and says, I'm sorry, I can't let you on the plane. I'm like, why? He says, because you haven't got a visa for Canada, and you're going through Canada, and you have to have a travel visa to go through Canada. And they changed the laws the week after I booked my tickets to go to Hawaii.
Wow.
So
So what
I
is
wasn't
the universe telling you there?
I wasn't able to get on the planes. It's like, okay, you're not
Wow.
supposed to. Am I not? I didn't even take it as I'm not supposed to go on the plane. I took it as, okay, I've got to sell my car. So Grace, I wasn't. It was me choosing. It wasn't like, okay, the universe is going to tell me how I've got to do this, and this is a sign not to. For me, it was a sign to, because it was about burning my bridges or burning my ships, right? And the car was basically the last kind of thing that I had, because I'd let it go of everything else, right? And so then within 2 days sold the car and bought another ticket and had $900 on top of that to maybe pay for food or something. And then proceeded to fly to Hawaii and went to the retreat, which was 1 week. The first week was 1 week, and then and before I went, there was another woman that was in the retreat, in the retreat, and like the night before the retreat started, I booked for another place, which was a hostel to stay. I was going to book for the hostel, and then I emailed her and said to her, could I surf on your couch? And she said, yeah, you could surf on my couch. So I ended up staying with her after the retreat for about a week, and then she introduced me to another woman that's now, we call it Hanai. Hanai means adoptive. So she's now my Hanai mother. So she's 80 years old now. And went to stay with her and her partner, Willie, who's like my Hanai dad. So they're like my Hanai family here. And and I stayed with them, and I ended up staying with them for another 6 months, and obviously got onto my feet and had clients and got all these things going. But I only had a 6-month visa here. In that meantime, my previous partner was going to come join me. He ended up coming to join me only in the April and was here for 3 days and then left because this wasn't his thing. And so then I managed to extend my visa from 6 months to a year. And I had to send through all the stuff to immigrations and got all the legal stuff done myself. And usually people would have to pay $2,000 or $3,000 to get that done. I did it myself. And then I met my husband in July. Yes, I have a husband. I met him in the end of July. But we were just friends. And then when I went to LA and stuff, then he phoned me when I was in LA and said, I think I have feelings for you. And then I ended up coming back to Hawaii, to Maui on the 1st of September. We got together. 3 weeks later, he proposed. 3 weeks later, we were married. And then I went and applied for the whole green card piece. And that was in 2017. So, the thing is you can easily, this is the thing that I like to say, is you can easily say that based on what the illusion of separation is telling you, this is what your possibilities are. But when you're not living in the illusion of separation and you're living in the infinite world of possibilities and love, where only love is real, and your choice creates your experience rather than your logical reasoning mind telling you what's possible, things that you can't even imagine are created.
100%. 100%, Bev. I mean, if you think of it, what did they ask, believe, receive? And the believe part is the separation, is what the human mind says, okay, I'm asking for, or I'm dreaming of, or whatever it may be, I want this. And the manifestation of it is purely a timing thing of self, of believing that one's worthy of it, number one. Isn't that so? Mm-hmm. And then how bad do you want it? Like, the universe will give you. I love looking at this whole interconnection, like you talk about the different dimensions and all the 12 and everything. To me, it looks like a spider web. Everything's connected by these thin threads, and these intersections are, I love, if you look at it in the relationship way is in the intersections of a spider web, is where souls or people come together. A reason, a season, a lifetime. Lessons are learned. Your energies connect in this meeting space, energy field, and it's all the things, blah 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 blah, that you've asked for. It's the people. It's the whole communion of living, and you're the being in there. And that spider web, if you look at a web, branches off. So there are choices to be made there. And that's where people either branch off together, being on the same energy field, or they head off on their own and off to the next intersection. We're all on our own journey, so you'll always connect back with people, perhaps energy fields or not. But yeah, it's that belief is the restriction. So you clearly, you knew where you were headed to. I mean, and the same thing now as well, being on this spiritual journey. I don't even like saying it's a spiritual journey, because we'll actually go on our journey. It's a life, it's a being journey. It's not a spirit. We're spiritual beings in a human body experiencing this life now. So we're on a journey of this beings, but we are the spiritual anyway. Can't say I'm not on a spiritual journey when actually that is my DNA. And the mind is what is the separation of can I have it or can't. And we've been so conditioned with all these layers and layers of beliefs. But you obviously went straight in. You knew what your GPS, you knew where your pin was on the map. And I think when we know where our pin is on the map and our heart is open to receive, and the path, which way we go around on the spider web, long way around, short way around, it is the way around. Because on the way you go to other intersections, other decisions, meet other people, other incidences, and all the way it goes for you to, you never arrive, do you? You get there, you got to the place. What, I mean, Bev, you get to Hawaii now, you've obviously got married and everything. What was there? What was in Hawaii that was calling you, and that when you got there, when you found out, you thought, right, I have arrived, I am at the right place? I mean, it's a hell of a journey to get there and then be disappointed and think, oh, I'm in the wrong place. Did you know straight away you were in the right place?
The land, I can't even, it's like, it's so, like, it's hard to explain to, like, people who know that they need to be in Hawaii. You just know. It's like the island calls you. It's like Pele calls you, or the goddesses call you. I don't know how to explain it.
No. You don't have to explain it to me, because I mean, I know I've got my big calling now. What's calling me, and you're gonna laugh and listen to this, but the jungle's calling me now. Now that is woken up good and proper. So I get you. I mean, it's like Cape Town was calling me, but also Cape Town was saying, you know, I did a lot of constellation work and in my constellation work, which is family constellation work, came the cities of Johannesburg and Cape Town. And Johannesburg being this old grandpa energy, and Cape Town being this feminine energy. I mean, she's a right royal, Cape Town's a right royal bitch if you're in the wrong place down here at the wrong time, because the energy here. And so for years I was saying, okay, Cape Town, I want to come down. My family was starting to migrate down. My dad had already been down here. And the words were, you are not ready. I will summons you basically when you are ready. Because if you come down here, I'm going to slap you around a bit. You are not ready. You stay where you are and you will get the message. And so I did get the message. When I finally, everything crumbled, got the message. You can't stop that pull. And so when I did arrive, and much like probably you within Hawaii, is that the house lined up, the right, everything just lined up. It was like a domino effect of the people I met, the circumstances, everything was just perfectly. Everything has lined. I question nothing about my journey to Cape Town, even right down through this whole experience of lockdown, etc. I have been, when you surrender to that intuition, to that knowing, there is nothing stopping you. So I know, and now I've got, of course, I don't know, a year later, now the jungle's going, Suzie, me, come to me. So we'll see, not see, that's going to line up when it does. But I so get you. It is a proper calling, isn't it? So what are you doing? What are you actually doing in Hawaii now?
What am I doing? So at the moment, I'm enjoying COVID-19, this whole story.
Lockdown.
I'm enjoying it.
I know.
Right?
I so agree.
What I'm doing here, I play crystal singing bowls. So that's one of the things that I do. And I do sacred ceremony. So that's something that I also enjoy. And so those are two of the things that I've been doing here. But then I also have a coaching business, and have just recently done a bit of a 360 with it, or 180, or whatever you want to call it. And part of my coaching business is assisting mostly women. I would say I work with a lot of women who are healers and who are coaches and who are in the spiritual world kind of thing, or helping women in their emotional wellness. What's that?
The awakening world.
Yeah, awakening, all of that.
Awareness kind of world, so, yeah.
Awareness, exactly. So working with a lot of women who know that they've got a calling to uplift the frequency and also work with energy, because the next yuga, as I was speaking about the yugas earlier, the first yuga, Kali Yuga, is all about material. The second yuga is all about energy. So we're actually stepping into where we understand energy, where we can see energy, where we have a tangible experience with energy. So, and sound energy and all of that. So it's basically, that's who I work with, is those kind of women who are awakening to it, and assisting them to discover what their heart's vision is, because it's very much heart centered. So, and then assisting them to start sharing it, sharing their art from their heart. And so that's kind of what I'm stepping into now. And one of the things I realized, where I felt, what I believed initially was, okay, I've got to find my purpose. And I felt like my purpose was working with people in transformation, and I needed to be in Hawaii. That was part of my purpose. I was like, this is my purpose, blah, 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 blah. And a lot of people get caught up on what their purpose is and what their legacy is and what footprint they want to leave and their message and all of that. And what I have come to realize is that your purpose is actually you. So that thing that you think is your purpose, the only reason that is there is for you to go through the process of getting to know you. It's like getting to know you, getting to know all about you, but you're getting to know yourself. Because
totally.
what your purpose does is it's not like the old model or old paradigm is, I've got to go learn these things externally to get these skills so that then I can teach these skills to other people and add value. It's different now. You're not trying to get skills. What's happening is as you're quote unquote learning, you're actually remembering, and as you take action and actually move toward that vision or dream or purpose,
knowing,
or whatever you think your purpose is, whatever it is, right? As you move towards that, it comes out of you. Those things and those skills are actually gifts and talents come out of you. So it's like you start to, discover your essence and what your inner power is, and what your and then you embody as that starts to come out, and you give that, you embody more of your soul essence, your true self. Exactly. And so 100%. That's what that really is. It's really when you have a purpose or you have a vision, what you're really doing is building a relationship with yourself. And that's why I say your purpose is you. It's for you to develop that relationship with yourself and recognize that this is your gift. And as you give your gift, when you give your gift, what you're really giving it, you're giving it to other people. As you see that, what you're really doing is you're giving it to yourself, and you are the infinite
because you're allowing it. And it's so beautiful, Bev. You've put it in such a beautiful way. And you know, the understanding on all of this and the journey of finding self, and it's been so interesting with lockdown and with the journey over the last couple of years or so. But coming into lockdown, a lot of people, and I know personally with me, literally was locked down. Like you've got four walls around you. There's no running. And so in order to find that, okay, what am I here for? How am I useful on this planet? Like, we have been so conditioned as a human species to look for and to be an external gratification. Get in a car to be a 9 to 5, come back and try and be ourselves with everybody else's crap stuck on us. And so what this lockdown mentally has literally prepared masses. That's why there's such a mass conscious awakening. People are waking up thinking, hang on a second, because they've been stopped. I know personally, I was stopped, like, okay, well, what do I actually do with myself? Like, we're so instructed. We have got such an instruction to always be doing. I've got to go do something. And even going to do, you know, little things of washing the dishes, hanging the washing, the little doings are not done with an open heart, because they're chores of, I've got to go do it. I've got to go do it. I've got to go do it. Just instruct.
And a lot of people even do nothing.
Exactly. So but the best part of it is what this has done is it has stopped people to do nothing. And in the doing of nothing, because they were doing, well, those who were doing so much, and now suddenly to sit and to be. So you are a human being, that's what they call us, but nobody's actually acting like that. They're acting like human doings. I've been a human doing my whole life. I've been doing everything for everybody else, keeping everybody happy, from being, growing up, being the daughter, blah, blah, eventually being the wife, being the mother, having my 2 children, keeping everybody happy in doing, what can I do for you? Is that not what can we do for you? And I know with my personal story is that I kind of forgot to look in the mirror with me. Like, what about me? And, you know, you hear these little children, who's like, what about me, me, me? My nickname used to be me, which in fact my mother called a Ridgeback after. But because like me, like, where's me? Like me. And we are taught, oh, don't be so selfish, you know. It's not you first, it's others. And the whole thing was like, oh my God, it knocked me completely. How many years ago? It was like, me first. You oxygen, what is the aeroplane? That is probably the only thing on this planet that gives the right instruction. Oxygen on me first, then help others. And because you're talking about energies, you're an energy field. So what are you? Your energy is right from your core pip out, not looking from outside in. So finding that chair in lockdown where you are forced to like be. And I love looking at, as you know, those toilet plungers with this rubber thing on the end, and sometimes it hooks back up. The rubber is so thick it pops inside out. And I almost feel like as human doings, we've been that has been inside out, and now that it's popped down, you find your being, and the doing and the being is a whole different ballgame. I love dishes now. I mean, they're not my best, but I now go and I'm in my being, and doing dishes is not so bad. It really isn't, because I'm just in my happy space and hanging, washing. It's all part of the being. And it's been an incredible experience and an incredible privilege, I think, that we've had in this time to actually sit and stop and reflect and say, what actually would I like to do? What is my purpose? What is my magic? The whole thing is the being. And I always used to be told, but Suzie, it's you. Do you not understand? It's you. I was going, I don't understand. I don't know. What do you mean it's me? It's me. But stopping and saying, okay, what do I want to do? And it was little things, and maybe whoever's listening can resonate with this or apply it, to get those juices going, one has to also start moving. And I know that I've attempted to start my book, I don't know how many times, but I went and I would try and write something. So journaling, even just journaling, if it was a paragraph or what have you, gets energy moving. And then I created an art project here where we've painted the boundary wall and we all got a panel. But it took me the first, like, I think 6 weeks of lockdown to, like, what am I even going to put on there? And so funny because it came up as a bee, the being. And of course it was going to be a bee with sunflowers. I mean, that's right behind you. It had to be. And it took me ages or once I made the decision, it was quick. Then it was drawn up and I painted it, and now it's just a work of art, and it's still going to add all my little bits and bobs. But those juices, actually picking up a paintbrush, started creating more juices. So now I'm doing a little bit of writing, a little bit of painting. Okay, I'm also paint mandalas, spend some time doing a little bit of that. Stop, do some gardening, and all of these just movement things. Or I had to do gardening because we were growing vegetables and what have you. So the juices get going. And it is in those little happily being in my doing that has now opened all sorts of sluice gates of courses and things that came through my field and things that are in line with my being to get to that big point that you talk about of, like, why am I here? What is my purpose? And so it has, that yellow brick road is now being ignited with the juices of my being, as opposed to now the 9-to-5 doing that everyone's always known me as. And it's a very different energy field that you come from. It's a very powerful energy field that you come from when you kind of don't have a clue where you're headed, but you know exactly where you're going. Does that make sense?
Yep, exactly.
Of course it does.
And you know, and I think that's also a part of it is when you're so aware of the truth of the choice that you're making, you know that you're supported. Like I like to say that when I was moving forward with obviously coming to Hawaii and everything that happened, I mean, okay, so Hawaii was just the tip of the iceberg. There's a whole lot of stuff that happened after that, like in these last 3 years. That's been another whole roller coaster in and of itself. But I didn't feel like there was no way back. Do you know what I'm saying? It was like the staircase was opening up one step at next, and I could just see the next step and just the next step. But the steps behind me that I'd already walked were disappearing just as fast as I was walking forward. Yeah. So it wasn't like I had a chance to pause on a step and like look around and, you know, look at the view, because I was just focusing on the next step because the steps behind me were dissolving so fast. And I feel like it's almost like an energetic thing as well, because being in South Africa, I always felt like I was in a very dense vibration. Like I felt like I didn't belong there. I felt like I couldn't root there. I couldn't put roots down there. I felt like I just felt awkward there. Like nowhere in South Africa. I mean, I loved Durban. I loved the coast, but I never felt like I really belonged there. Like I never felt like I want to have a house here. It was just like, ugh, as soon as I can get out of this place, the better. And it's kind of like I completed my soul work there. And when we went to Peru, obviously there were certain energies that need to be picked up there. And there was memories that came and switched on there. And then we went back to South Africa. And as soon as I could get out of there, I was out, baby. I was, I'm done with that energy, right? And so when I came to Maui, I finally felt, oh, I feel normal. I feel like myself. And even like, and I'd encourage anyone who might be watching this to, I met a man when I was in Peru. His name was Dan First. He's passed now. Wonderful man. And he used to do astrocartography, and he did astrocartography for me. And what it does is astrocartography looks at like your astrology chart, and then it looks at like places on your astrology chart and links them to places on the planet. And the places that were the love lines for me was South Africa, Peru, Bali, which I haven't been to yet, but that's on my list, and then obviously Hawaii. Those are where my Venus lines run through different. So
Wow.
Venus and the moon lines. So, obviously it makes sense. And the funny thing is, when I said I was coming to Hawaii, I said, okay, I'm coming to Maui, but I'm actually going to be on the Big Island. But Dan said to me, oh no, your line actually runs through Maui. And I was like, no, but it's not Maui, because I didn't know Maui. It's not Maui. It's either Kauai or the Big Island. That's where I need to be. He's like, okay, well, I'm just telling you what the line says. That's all. I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. And there's two places that are of Hawaiian Islands that are the ancient Lemurian land. It's still ancient Lemurian land. Lemurian land. And that's Kauai, right? Napili Coast, I think it's called. And then West Maui Mountains, which is literally 20 minutes from where I stay. And there's a place called Iao Valley, which is a beautiful, beautiful valley with a river running through it. And Iao is actually the name that the Hawaiians had for the infinite spirit. Like the Peruvians, the Indians call it Ilitichi Veracocha, and some religions call it like Yahweh, the name that cannot be named, the great spirit, and they call it Iao. And it's like the name, it was a very sacred name, but you wouldn't even say that word. You wouldn't even say the word because it was so sacred. And it's the same with the Yahweh. They don't say that word because it's so sacred. And so that valley is just like so incredibly beautiful. It makes sense that it would be the old Lemuria. I always pronounce it wrong. Lemuria. And so that's, these energies are awakening on the planet. And just so for interest's sake, what's happening with the pandemic, with the whole, lockdown, we have this idea that we went into quarantine, right? The truth is we've been under energetic quarantine for thousands of years. Okay, we've been literally caught in an energetic quarantine. We have 12-strand DNA. Okay, our DNA is actually 12 strands, but it was because of the Kali Yuga, we went to such density that we only had 2 strands plugged in. The rest of it they call junk DNA, which is now starting to plug in. So as it starts to plug in, we're going to connect with all of these things that we look at as like X-Men capabilities, right? Like biolocation and psychic, all the psychic stuff turning on, and telekinesis, and all these powers, right? Which are not really powers; they're just things that we do. They're just part of us.
They're things that have been, Bev, we haven't been told about, and this is what has been hidden from mankind. And I think this is where the dots, people are going to start finding out just how powerful we are. I mean, the stuff that's starting to come out, I just know with me personally, and you can't hide it. It's no more. This is the new, it's the new age. It's not new. We are. But it is time for these beings to bloom now. And that's what is happening with this whole shift, is that these conscious beings with these inner powers that we all chose a specific gift to come onto this planet in this moment for. We all different. If we all started off as one, and we are all, and it exploded, and we are all part of a one, that one has so many talents, and every single one of the 8 billion people on this planet has a gift, has their own chosen gift that they've bought in this moment. So Bev, in this moment now, people looking at you and listening to you, what are you doing? What is your practice? What are you doing? Why would people contact you to help them in this awakening and awareness of what would you be able to assist people on?
Cool.
You were always described as the flower energy. That's how I always knew you.
Oh, really? Well, that's interesting, because one of the things that I'm currently playing with at the moment is called the Bright Flower Awakening. And then obviously I've been working with another thing called the Creatrix Collective, which is a lot about connecting women. And I do work quite a bit with women. That's like kind of what
So why would they contact you? What is, because people are going to come across people now, people, they're searching. It's like, and if you've landed on this video, then energetically, you haven't arrived here by coincidence. Energetically, you arrived here to hear what Bev has to say, and perhaps her techniques and her gifts and things inspire you or interest you of your approach of your journey. So,
well, I'll tell you, one of the first things that I definitely one of my skills, superpowers, whatever you want to call it, is unlocking people's belief systems. So like really unlocking because part of the prison is in the mind. Most of the prison is in the mind, and the prison is formed from our beliefs, patterns, and systems that have been programmed into us from when we were very, very young. And I mean, it's everywhere.
And lifetimes.
And it's everywhere. It comes from every single direction. It's bombarded at us constantly. And because we've been so accustomed to that, it's like normal. We see these things and we think that it's normal. But the truth is we don't. So a lot of people think we think thoughts. We don't really think thoughts. We're all wildly psychic. Every single one of us. We're actually receiving and admitting like beings. That's what we do. So that's why there's so many adverts and stuff all around the place, is because it wants to keep our minds focusing. Whatever we focus on, we create. So if we get belief systems that are given to us and we get taught to focus on them, we believe that that's real and we create it. We are the observers. We are God's source energy observing as we say, this is the reality. I'm observing it manifest. So we think when we're walking in our little bubbles of our world that things are already there, right? We have a collective agreement of things being in a certain place, but the truth is it isn't really there for you until you arrive and observe it and say that it's there through your belief and your observation.
Always was there.
It was nothing. It was energy.
If you can think of it, it is.
Yes, exactly, because our observation creates everything, right?
So it's quite nice to think your own thoughts for once, not other people's thinking.
Well, that's the thing, is it's nice to choose your thoughts.
Exactly.
So that and so that you can create what you choose. And you see, we've been kind of disillusioned with the whole choice thing, because we get taught the choice is, okay, black or white, or pink or yellow or green, right? Instead of thinking it's like a mauvey, purpley, pinky, huey kind of black. And we even call this a new color, like scamanicalo. Scamalicano color. Do you know what I'm saying? It's as much.
We are creators. We are creators. Exactly.
So that's part of what I assist people, is to realize that you are actually a creator. But before I can do that, I first need to help them to see the program that's already running, and then to work with tools and games. I like to say more games, play with games, that they can start to unravel how much the program has bound them up, so that they can actually see the program, they can see the illusion of separation, and then they can choose love. Because at the end of it all, the choice is really only one choice, is love. And so then there's the juxtaposition, there's the what's the word when you've got an opposite kind of thing, there's the
contrast. The
contrast is, but yeah, the contrast and the kind of weird twist is, yes, like, is
the
like
flip side.
Exactly. is that we think we have all these choices. So we have choice, we have free will choice, but there's only one choice, and it's love. And we've already chosen it. So anything that we think has already happened has not happened, because only love is happening, and everything else is an illusion. Everything else is just a dream. So it's kind of like an Alice in Wonderland. If you understand how Alice in Wonderland works, that's what this world is. It's Alice in Wonderland. Everything is upside down and topsy-turvy. So like what I said, we think that we've only been in quarantine for these couple of weeks. No, we've been in quarantine for lifetimes, and the quarantine has actually been lifted energetically. But that's why a part of the whole thing has been stay in your houses, because of the fear of not knowing how to deal with this new energy that's coming. And as this new energy has come in, also there's like what could be believed as darker forces have been opening up. So they've been pulling out all these darker forces or energies that have been in the darkness are coming to the light of consciousness,
like
and then being dissolved.
Yeah, it's literally like pulling a plug. It's like pulling this, using it out.
Exactly. Shining the light on the darkened areas of our consciousness, where like as a collective we didn't want to look at these things, but they need to be looked at in order to raise the frequency of the entire collective. And so what it looks like in our conscious 3D world, as like people are being put into jail or all these negative energies are coming up, right? It's just basically parts of our consciousness that are told that we're bad and wrong, and then hidden deep inside.
No, the core, the pip is coming out now, and
exactly.
And the dark doesn't like the light, and so you will also, I mean, I don't know if you found, because I know with my energies and walking around, I mean, you can the dark energies that are around, I mean, they even look at you funny.
Well,
because
the thing is
because light now is highlighted in every aspect.
Because they're sitting in separation, so they forgot that part of the energy is so craving love that has been so hidden in darkness for so long that it no longer knows what that is, and it just is in a state of like hunger. Like it's so hungry. It doesn't know what it needs to eat, but it's so hungry. And what it really, when it comes in contact with love, it dissolves, because love, the separation cannot exist in the presence of love. So it just dissolves. It doesn't exist, because so we can't create the illusion of an observation, right, for it to exist anymore. It just, because it can't. It just dissolves.
And you know, Bev, it's so beautiful to watch, and I know we're in for, you know, it's an interesting time, but the next few months there's a lot of that dark energy, like it really, that core pus is coming out, and it is already out.
It's already, but now
it's already out.
It's like the 3D is the past.
100%.
So like we're seeing what's already past when we are seeing it in a 3D experience.
Exactly. Right? And the time frame now of this, you know, I always knew something was going to happen in the next while, because I knew what was brewing in me, and it had to pop. I mean, you can't keep baby in the corner. What's that saying? Not a chance. So all the babies that are waking up, you can't keep us in the corner. But over the next 10 years, there's more energy coming onto this earth, and there's more awakenings, and there's more change coming over the next 10 years than has been in the last 10,000 years energetically. So the worlds that we create and what is going on, I mean, it's such fun. Like, really, it is. It's like everything we've dreamt of. Like, we can totally reinvent, recreate, redo, rewire. We can choose anything we want, because anything is a go now. Anything. Like, nothing is the 9 to 5 locked box that we've been conditioned to for hundreds and thousands of years as human beings. Anything is going to be as weird as who's what, whatever. You're going to find every single person coming out now with a different superpower. We are all different. We are all unique. Yes, we've all got our psychic abilities and whatever. But like Bev, you have a specific, I know what, I don't know, but I do know, but kind of whatever's brewing. Kind of know the gist of things, I think, but everything's a surprise at the moment. So on this journey of getting to know yourself, getting to know your being, getting to know your buzz, has been such an incredible gift to take the time to stop, choose. It's stop, look. It's like, who am I? And then choose.
And then play.
And then play. And this is all. The love frequency and all of it is a higher frequency than woe is me. And the love frequency is the light frequency. And the only job that we have on this planet is to be so true and to be in love and so true to oneself, because we are only effective on this planet if we are representing our being to its fullest, to its full light. Right now, our light is so required on this planet in order to, to lift all of this darkness out. And over the next 100 years, this planet is a different place to what our history books, like pre-COVID, after COVID, it is a new story. And I think that's the big thing that people can't get their head around. Like, are you like living in a fairyland? Like, I was also told I was a fairy. Like, what planet are you on? Well, you're damn right, I'm on Earth. And I'm on the Earth going into the Earth that I've always envisaged. Like, that had a box, that had a lid on. And now there are too many people that are still in that 3D world that won't come out of it. And they didn't choose to come out of it in this lifetime. But the instant turnaround of souls, and that's another whole discussion, is instantaneous. It's instantaneous. As they're coming back, they're coming into the new 5-dimensional love world. So our only job really, and your only job, if you're listening to this video, is to take that step. It's not even back. It's just to stop. It's to stop and assess everything that is not in your space. What parts are me? So, Bev, I'm going to put your contact details on this, and those who want to get through and work with this incredible flower energy in Maui in Hawaii, Bev is your lady. And if that is who you are, whether you are male or female, it's to be coached into an awareness that you didn't think you were going insane. I mean, I have been going through to modalities for 20, 30 years, just to try and like the seeking. So if you resonate with Bev and you resonate with her coaching, that she would be able to get rid of your limiting beliefs or get through in her way and to give you a clearer understanding, then get hold of her, because this woman, yeah, it's another whole story how we met and things in our journey. But wow, I mean, I'm so grateful for you coming into my space. So grateful for everything that has occurred in the last how many years. So grateful to you, Bev. You've been a big part of my story, directly and indirectly. And so anyone who works with you is very lucky, very, very, very lucky. And I know we're in for a huge adventure on this plan. I can't wait to catch up with you. We're definitely going to do more of these interviews and more topics and things. But yeah, what a time, hey?
So yeah, and this is the beginning. This is the time we've all been waiting for. So like, I just kind of been chilling out on Earth for a while. I'm like, yay, well, I'll do these really real, weird, random things. And now, since this is happening, I'm like, oh, finally, this is what I came here for. Okay,
I know. And I'm finding more and more and more, like getting comfortable in my own business card. You know, that's exactly what what it is all about, getting comfortable and finding like, oh my God, what am I good at? Like, oh yes, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I've had great fun doing it. And those creative juices have definitely brought it through. So watch out, world, when these, I can't even say these forerunners, because it's been going on for a while, but the masses are coming, and the masses are looking for modalities and just direction of their own selves. And I'm really excited to be in a space to also on that what I do and assisting others, but assist self first. So yeah, self first, then the rest of the world. And that's what it's about. We can't deliver if our tank is not full. And so it's been a very special journey, and it gets better and better. I mean, how does it get better than that?
Right. Like if I look at the last 10 years and I look at where I am now compared to 2012, 10 years ago, or 2010, 10 years ago, I look and I'm a totally different person. And like a lot of the dreams that I had then are like completely true beyond the beyond the beyond. Like I can't even explain that. And to me, I just look at, okay, well, what's in store for the next 10 years? I don't have even a clue how it's going to unfold,
Trust, faith. All I know is going to be a ton of fun. It's going to be magical. Absolutely. It is already magical.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I have I have a song I can share before we end, so let me know when I can do that.
I was going to say, in closing, what are words of wisdom from you and a song, and then I'll end off.
I'll actually end with my song. The song goes, anything is possible. You can if you believe. Yeah. Anything is possible. In your heart, it will always be. Anything, anything, anything. Oh yeah. Anything, anything, anything. Yeah.
Absolutely. Hashtag anything is possible, without a doubt. Oh, Bev, thank you for this moment. I know I had to race out of bed and meet you 12 hours on the other side, you coming off the beach. I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for us meeting. I'm so grateful for your energy. I'm so grateful for the gifts you have given me along the way in the years. Thank you. Special woman you are.
Thank you for having me, and I'm grateful to you too. I mean, thank you for so many things. There's so many things, and your beauty and your light and awakening to your truth. Thank you for being who you are.
Any day. I like who I am. All right, I'm going to stop this recording. You are such a star, and I'm so grateful for you. And we'll do this again for sure. Thank you, Beverly Buckley, all the way from Hawaii.
Thank you, Suzie.